Welcome to Secret Identity, the secret place for secret news. I'm secretly Troy Bond, secretly joined by my secret lover and co-creator, not so secret that one's public, Brent, the secret Birnbaum.
Secret Lover is loving your impression. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um Today we're doing today in history. What's today's date? Is
Today is the
December
5th
5th,
of December.
the day movies died.
My Miss American Pie.
Will be released on Netflix with the Batman 2 and Dune 3.
We were gonna do an absolute Superman episode today, which we will still do, but this news was just too jarring. Like we were gonna do a whole new nerd news segment on the Ben Reilly Spider-Man thing and Scarlett Johansson being in the Batman, but waking up to this, it's like finding out a friend died.
Yeah. How does this even happen, man? Like, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it's a monopoly now.
Mm-hmm. For
Paramount's
those not
dead.
paying attention, yeah, Warner Brothers is being bought by Netflix, which is just like they're gonna kill the movie model.
Yeah, it's probably a great time to be a actor because you're gonna be in a lot of movies, but no one's gonna see them. It's just everything's just gonna be on a carousel now. It's crazy to me. Like
It's crazy.
I woke up and I went later and I was like, she was like getting ready to go to work, and I had to interrupt her day because I was like, you have to know this. They bought Netflix bought Warner Brothers. Like we both just sat down, and maybe I was being dramatic, but like it just for it, I think it sold for like 82 billion.
Something like that. Teddy
For
Roosevelt is
what?
rolling over in his grave right now.
Yeah, man. What does this look like for you? Because I have my theories. I'd love to hear what you think because you're the only person I could talk to about this.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think I immediately went to worst case scenario where it's like Netflix is obviously doesn't care about theatrical releases. When they put their stuff in the theaters, they'll put it in there for like 3 weeks and then just put it on the streaming service. And this has been
Oh,
like a
no, Slater
really
is
oh yeah.
buzzing up. Hold on one second. Let me let her.
Yeah, go for it.
Hold on. Put a pin in your roll. Put a pin in your roll. That's actually just Walter Hamada.
Stay tuned. Look at your man. Now back at me. Now back at your man. Now back at me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he starts using Old Spice deodorant, he could smell like he's me.
Or you could
I
get
was
roped
just
something awful like Terry Crews. Yeah, sorry, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just thinking this year, this has been like a really good year for movies, and I've loved seeing movies in the theater. Obviously, we've talked about Superman and Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts, but like just the movies like Sinners and Begonia and One Battle After Another. Like, I just saw this movie Blue Moon, which Richard Linklater did about like Lorenz Hart, who was like Richard Rodgers' like first writing musical partner before Rodgers and Hammerstein, and it was like him on the day of the premiere of Oklahoma, and like seeing his partner like have like the biggest success of his career without him. I mean, it's a great movie, and like Marty Supreme's coming out, and there's like a Korean film that I really want to see. I mean, I love being in movie theaters. I love it, and it's not only is Netflix going to kill it, Disney's going to follow suit. I think I can't hear you. Nah. What happened?
Now you can hear me.
Now I can
Now
hear
you
you.
can hear me.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry. I
Yes.
unplugged my mixer when I got up. Yeah, no, I
No worries.
look, as far as movies are gonna go now, like as when I heard about this, I was like, well, every movie's gonna get a Knives Out release, right? Like it'll be in
Mhm.
theaters for 3 weeks, and it's not there for that 3 weeks to satisfy the moviegoer. It's there so it can be considered for an Oscar nomination, right? Like it
Right.
has nothing to do with what your movie experience is anymore. And like, is this going to be the end of the streaming war or the beginning of the streaming war? Like, it kind of feels like, to me, it feels like I've lived through it. I
This
lived
is not
through
the end.
all.
This
It's
is
not
not
the
even the
end.
beginning of the end. This is the end of the beginning.
Yeah,
A little
like, this
Winston
could all been
Churchill for
avoided.
the Gen Zs.
They love what Gen Zs love two things: Winston Churchill and being told their Spotify listening age is 74. Um, there, there's gonna be so much now that, like, movies are going to be made like that Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt Russo brothers movie that was just AI slop. Like, and I'm this next sweep, all the movies that are in production right now, the Batman 2, Dune, uh this is like the last sweep. This is the last era of movies. I think Martin Scorsese is jumping up and down, being like, See, I told you I was right. You know, that's what happens with cinema. It's gonna die. It's that it marries
Said I
you.
was
It
crazy.
fucks an upstairs neighbor. It was crazy. Fuck you, okay? Like, the reason why cinema died was because Paul
Fuck
Dano's in
you.
too many movies. Okay.
What a stupid.
Yeah, I
What kind of take was that? I mean, I love Tarantino, but what? Paul Dano's amazing.
it reminded me of
Okay,
like
so
that 50 Cent
here's the
thing
thing.
where he's like, "What did he say?
What
Fuck
was the
me
50
for?
Cent
What
thing?
I do?" Where he's like, he said, "Fuck Floyd, fuck 50." I'm like, "What did he say? Fuck 50 for? Nelly's who fucked your girl." I was like, "Why did you say that about Paul Dano?" And like, also, he was arguably the best thing to compliment Daniel Day-Lewis with in There Will Be Blood. Like, that guy's so intense.
He
You
was
need a
amazing
chaser.
in
And
that
Paul
movie.
Dano's the furthest thing from boring. And I love that everyone in Hollywood, from like, Matt Reeves was like, Paul Dano's amazing, and then Alec Baldwin was like, I love Paul Dano, and everyone's like, okay, 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 okay.
Yeah. And then Woody Allen comes. He goes, "Dude, Paul Dano is just fantastic. He's
All right, all right,
outstanding."
all right, all right, all right.
Paul
Well,
Dano's like,
I
"Come
don't
on."
know anything about that.
And R.
Yeah.
Kelly's like writing from prison. He goes, "If I could
I
work with
love
any actor, it
Dano.
would
My
be
mind is Paul Dano. But
fuck you,
My
fuck you, Paul
Quentin
Dano."
wants to see feet. Fuck you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
here's the thing. Okay, he has no energy and his face, and he doesn't like milkshakes. Okay, because if you're gonna be in a movie, okay, with Daniel Day Lewis, you need to be able to drink a $5 shake. Okay,
all of
fuck
it. You have
you.
to drink it all up. If it's a five
I
dollar shit,
drink
you
it
don't put
up.
bourbon in it or anything. Fuck you. Yeah,
Fuck you.
I'm really glad that books still exist in a printable medium right now, because I saw this coming when, in this decade, not even that long ago, Best Buy was like, we're done selling physical media. And Best Buy got really harmed by that. And people were like, I'm not going to spend $250 on headphones if you're not going to give me a physical 4K DVD of Spider-Man Far From Home. Like, everything about the merchandise and the collecting, which collecting is just another form of movie worship and cinephile appreciationship. That's all just like, it's gone now. Everything is just vinyl. Like, movies are officially in the vinyl stage. This is the day everyone's going to remember, when every Regal turned into a Target Express shop.
Yeah. No, it's really it's tough to see. We started this podcast because we felt there was an oversaturation of comic book movies, and the magic that we got with Endgame was fading as like Bob Chapek and Bob Iger were just like filling the world with just mid movies and TV shows. But like, and I still love the books, and I will always go to the books. But I'm like, I don't want movies to go away, though.
No, and you also don't. I mean, it's happened now, and I'm upset because the first thing that happened when everyone heard about this was they were like, "Oh, the Snyderverse is coming to Netflix," and I was like, "How dumb do you have to be not to understand that the reason why the Snyderverse died? There are myriad reasons, but you're never going to get another Batflick movie because Ben Affleck walked away from the role himself. Maybe J-Lo pulled him. I
Yes.
don't know. I don't see him coming back. Like, he barely wanted to
Mhm.
be in the Flash movie. And now
Wha
you think
what is it?
Cavill's
Why
just
would the
going to all of a
Snyderverse
sudden,
come back? Yeah, like, what do we think? Ted Sarandos? I don't know, how whatever, the Netflix guy. What is he, just
whoever,
like some
yeah, Ted
enormous
Sarandos.
Zack Snyder fan? Yeah,
Yeah,
Ted
well, the
Sarandos. Like,
theory
he's
for
just some
theirs has
giant Zack
been the
Snyder
thing
fan?
that, yeah, they all thought that, like, he's just gonna say, for years they were like the Snyderverse is going to live on Netflix, and I was like, the Snyderverse has died, bury it, dies tonight. Like
Mhm.
it's never. What do you think is going to happen with the future of James Gunn and the DC universe now? Do you think that's going to be left untouched as a provable moneymaker? Do you think that we're maybe going to see a different shape of movies?
Yeah, I mean, I think anything that's been filmed, we're still going to see. I mean, Supergirl is still going to move forward as so long as the guy who plays Krem doesn't fucking doesn't get arrested
I'm wondering
on
if they
federal
filmed. If for those of you who don't know, Krem, the actor, I forget what his name is.
Yeah.
Got it. He got arrested for driving without a license or something like that, something innocuous. And I said that to
Mhm.
Brent, and Brent replied to me. He was like, "Method actor," and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna." I hope they filmed his scenes.
You
So we
actually
have Krem to.
you replied method actor. You sent it to me,
Oh, I.
and then you replied,
Oh.
and then you said method actor.
I swear I didn't do that to plug my own joke. Um.
So Brett had
So
this
he.
amazing joke.
He has this great joke
He
about him
called
being a
himself a
Dominican
Dominican
lesbian.
lesbian.
Oh my
Even over
god.
Wi-Fi.
Oh man. Yeah, what do you I guess like we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. We do have nicer news to sort of talk about. The first bit that came out this week was I wonder if I present my screen if I could share. I just did
Oh, that's
Bad
cool. I didn't even think
Hospital
about doing
with
that.
Matt Lieb. Yeah, I wonder if I could do it. Let me see. What happens if I present now? I hope all of my tabs won't like. Okay, share screen. Okay, yes, share screen. Uh, okay, okay, you know what? We are not going to share a screen. It just wants me to open up too many settings, and Joe Biden does not know how to use a computer. Ben Riley and Nick is playing Nicolas Cage as Spider Noir. That's
That's
exciting.
cool.
And you were the
That's
first
really
person I couldn't
cool.
wait to tell.
I
Thoughts
was
about the
thrilled.
picture we saw?
Oh my god, I got that. You sent me that text when I was in a client meeting, and I had to I had to hold back from going fist pumping the air. I was so pumped to see that because you know what,
Yeah.
you can only see Peter Parker so many times. I mean Peter Porker now. That's someone we'd love to see. But Ben Riley, we love Ben Riley. I mean Ben Riley, he's a '90s icon, and we've never really gotten him adapted except for a vocal cameo by Andy Samberg. So this is cool.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people at first were like, Ben Riley is Spider Noir, it's Peter Parker. And I'm like, of all the characters who have so many identities and so many clones, who's more malleable to switch it around than Peter Parker and Spider Man? Ben Riley, Spider Man, he's a clone. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see how they're going to explore the clone thing in the noir times. We've seen nothing about this series.
Mm-hmm. And they could even do a twist. It could be like the Clone Wars twist. Like it could be like Ben Riley always thought he was this guy Ben Riley, and actually he was Peter Parker the whole time. It was like there's a lot of stuff that they can do there.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, that's definitely what they're gonna play into there. But also, this is another Spider-Man fans don't go hungry for very long. We have
Mm.
that, and we have the new Tom Holland movie, and we have the new season of the animated show coming out soon. And we also have some exciting Batman news.
Yes,
Scarlett Johansson is going to be allegedly. Nobody really knows who she's going to play, but she's rumored to be in the Batman Part 2, and
allegedly.
allegedly she's going to be in it, and she passed over Emma Stone. Emma Stone said no, and now it's going to go to ScarJo, Crown Jew.
Frankly, if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Emma Stone because she signed the document condemning Benjamin Netanyahu.
um, who do we speculate ScarJo is going to be? Phantasm?
Well, yeah, so I was thinking Ivy because I just with the I mean I know she's not a natural redhead,
Mm.
but I just feel like she has that vibe with Ivy. Ivy's such an iconic character, and I wouldn't be I feel like I wouldn't put it past Matt Reeves to take Freeze and Ivy, the villains from the most hated Batman movie of all time, Batman and Robin, and
And
make
do
them
him right.
cool, do them right. But you thought Phantasm, and I love that, and I hope it's Phantasm.
Well, I mean, listen, I'll be okay with either character because it's not the Joker.
Right.
Um
Thank God.
and It's not. The Riddler was great introduction for the Batman.
Fuck you.
And now fuck you. He's not vanilla. Okay, fuck you. I
Okay.
just wanted to pull up. I
I could
wasn't
sing
alone
Ave
in
Maria
thinking that
better, okay?
Ave ma fuck you. Zoe Kravitz is gone. She's
Right.
not coming back in the second movie. And anyone who's upset about that didn't watch the end of the first one because they
Mhm.
clearly went in different directions. And not for nothing, I'm glad that Matt Reeves didn't build out this universe to where you have to see the same keys being jingled in front of you every time. Colin
Yeah.
Farrell wasn't even sure if he was coming back for this yet, and obviously he is.
Mhm.
But like, it didn't really matter to me if he was or not because we got such a great dive into him as the Penguin.
It's going to be a weird subplot where he takes Victor to the Lazarus pit.
Hey, come on, Vic. All right, it's eternal life. You want eternal life, right? Am I joking you? Yeah, I'm joking you right now, Vic.
Oz,
Shut the fuck
you
up, Vic. You
killed
sound
me.
like a CD I left belly up on a counter in 2008. You know why I was left belly up, Vic? It was the recession, Vic. I was watching Fox Business, Vic.
The League of Shadows is yours.
Do you want to remind everyone who the Phantasm is? Andre
The
Beaumont,
fanta-
obviously.
the yes, right, and she was his lover, right?
She was his lover, who was also a one-off mysterious serial killer who started killing mobsters in Gotham,
Right.
and dressed like the Grim Reaper.
To avenge
And
her
she had a
father.
supernatural to event, yeah. Who I forget what exactly happened with her dad. A mob
I
took him
think the
out.
mobsters, Abe Vigoda's character, like was like the mob leader, and I think they all killed her father, and so she was like slowly picking them off one by one, and at the same time returns to Gotham and reconnects with Bruce, and the one mobster left that she has to go after is Jack Napier, Joker.
Yes, and that, he has a great line in that movie where he's like, "Me Cosa Nostra, su Cosa Nostra." One
It's
of my
such a good
favorite
line.
Joker lines of all time. Yeah, I would be excited to see that because it looks like the. I mean, we know this Matt Reeves Batman universe is called the Batman Epic Crime Saga, right? Like,
Right.
so it's we know that's completely different from the DCU. Now, who knows what? I mean, I tend to not be doomsday, no pun intended, about the future of the DC you with James Gunn because that is a proven moneymaker. Um, I don't. I would be more worried to see what's going to happen to the HBO Max app. It looks like it's going to be fully integrated with Netflix now. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know how Netflix prices are going to go up and be like $70, and then we'll have reinvented cable, and then we'll restart it again in a few years. But with that, you have these last bit of films that are going to come out, and I think Matt Reeves knows that weight is people are going into those Batman movies knowing that, and it's created such a beautiful like world of itself where you don't need to be Batman is so intertwined with the zeitgeist that you don't need to know any prior canon to watch any Batman thing. Really, it just makes it more fun if you do. It makes us virgins, like me and Brent. But the Batman crime saga, I'm going to keep calling it that so people get it drilled into their heads so they don't ever try to meld it with the DCU because I've said before I don't need to see that. I think Matt Reeves, to quote a episode of the Batman the animated series and himself in the first Batman movie, does a great job at paying tribute to sins of the father.
Hmm.
And he would be really well off to incorporate a character from the animated series, which is a show kids who are now in the 30s and 40s paying to see movie tickets would love to see and point at and go, wow, this is really cool. I'd be really excited for it. And also, not for nothing, that's like my favorite Batman movie ever. So that's my 2 cents on the whole. Excited. And Scarlett Johansson, she did her piece with Marvel, although I never saw Black Widow. I loved her and everything else she did. Black Widow just came out at the wrong time. You know, that's why I never
Oh, you
saw it.
never saw Black Widow?
Never saw it.
You are missing out on a movie.
Yeah, that's what I kind of always felt.
That is a movie that came out that Scarlett Johansson is in.
Yeah, I've seen Don John more than I've seen Black Widow.
Don John is a great movie.
It's a good movie. Tony
I
Danza,
like.
Scarlett Johansson. No one
Do you
has
know what
seen
movie
Don
I
John.
just
Go see
saw?
it.
Like on the subject of Don John, I don't know if you ever saw this. This is a complete tangent, but Don Juan DeMarco.
No.
That's a great movie. Don Juan DeMarco, it's one of Brando's last films. It came out in like 96, and it's him and Faye Dunaway and Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp plays this guy, like 21 years old, has essentially had a mental break and thinks he's Don Juan, like the greatest lover of all time, and wants to kill himself. And Marlon Brando is like playing his therapist and trying to figure out why this guy thinks he's Don Juan. But even though Johnny Depp's like crazy in the movie, like it kind of works. Like every woman that meets him is like kind of into him, and like Brando like realizes his marriage has kind of gotten to a malaise with Faye Dunaway, and he's like inspired by him and starts like romanticizing and like courting like Faye Dunaway like when they were younger. It's really really good film.
Dude, Depp, up until like Willy Wonka, was always knocking him out of the park. I love his movies.
So
And Brando,
he's amazing in this film.
yeah, I mean, I don't know when Blow came out. I know that was a little bit after. But What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Edward Scissorhands. I mean, he was smart by just never taking a comic book role, but then he kind of squashed all of the integrity by, I guess, beating up Amber Heard and doing Willy Wonka. I'm not sure which one I was more offended by, but
Right.
they say that's what makes a great artist, and I'm not so sure about that. But I'm sure it's a great movie, and I'll have to check it out. I love Brando. He's up there for me, and arguably one of the greatest.
He might be the
comic
greatest
book
American actor of all
cameos
time.
I would put him. It's
Oh,
hard
for
to
sure. Like
recently, him and Denzel. Those are what's in competition for me.
yeah, no, I mean if Denzel for sure. I mean Denzel's up there. Like I mean, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, look, Pacino, De Niro, absolutely. But like, I mean, when I think about like the roles, who?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh yeah, but he's not American.
Never mind. Fuck him.
Fuck him. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much nuance in Brando's roles. I mean, it's just like, particularly when you take like a role like on the waterfront. I mean, it's a very subdued performance, but there's just so much emotion in there. I mean, just think about in The Godfather.
For a guy
like,
who didn't give a shit.
Who didn't give a shit, he'd read cue cards.
That's one of my favorite pictures. If anyone gets a chance to look it up, it's Robert Duvall standing there in The Godfather 1, and he's holding his jacket open, and it's because he's holding the cue cards up while Brando's reading the lines as they're on his body. It's so great. I mean, like but I read his book when I was going to acting school, and he had a great philosophy. I don't know if it was great, but it kind of, I think, is why he was great, because he didn't consider himself to be great, and he was always kind of like trying to shine the light on someone else. And he also was like, if they pay me the same amount of money to sweep the floors at the studio, I would do that for a living. I don't really care about acting. I don't like
really do a great Brando.
I just do a fat Brando. Burt Reynolds. Fat Brando. Burt Reynolds. Little community reference. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll check that out. What was it called? Don
Juan DeMarco.
Pellegrino? Don Juan John Marco.
Don Juan Pellegrino. Yeah, Don Juan John Marco. It's just it's just Marlon Brando in shorts.
Played by John Mulaney. What other is there any other nerd news that happened this week? Is there anything nerd wise that's on your brain that you want to cover? Star Wars is getting a theatrical release.
Was that the Mandalorian and Grogu?
No, episode 4. They're doing a release in theaters.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's the original theatrical version that they're putting out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, quick plug for those of you that didn't see, I did a little crossover with the podcast This or That, where we talked about what Star Wars is best, 2D versus 3D of the Clone Wars. Obviously 2D, but if you wanna check that out, check out This or That.
It was phenomenal, and my boy missed no points. He missed no points. I was very, very happy to see you kill.
is honestly such an honor for me. For you complimenting me on Star Wars knowledge is even more of like full chub than you complimenting my stand up. Just because like
Oh
you
no, man.
such a brilliant you like the way you call me your shaman for anime. Like you are the creme de la crop of like Star Wars knowledge. So for me to like be able to like hold my own off shit that I learned from you.
At first, you possessed the knowledge of an Elric brother and an alchemist of Star Wars, but then, as after I watched the entire episode, I said he's become the C-3PO. He knows everything he needs to know about the galaxy, and it was just cool to see. And honestly, I love. I don't want to rant about the 2D Clone Wars because I didn't get to talk to you about it. I loved the Gen D show, and I know you did too.
Mhm.
And we've talked about it a lot over the years. I'm reading the Revenge of the Sith novelization right now.
Right.
I put it down for a little bit and I picked it back up. It's so great because that was in the time of like there was no canon or legends. Like anything that came out for Star Wars was like you either read it or you didn't, which is how
Right.
people should look at it. I don't care about like what was Disney stuff, what really happened in the expanded universe because it's all made up, and it's also supposed to be looked at like they're tall campfire stories. And
Right.
the 2D Clone Wars show, there's like two parts of it, right? You have the first part, which is like almost no dialogue. It's like cut up
Mhm.
by 2-minute action sequences for like an hour. It's amazing. They made
Exactly.
a lot of cool flash games about it. It's so cool. Then they put a little bit more money into it. They meaning Cartoon Network, which was the weapon of a cartoon observer, not as clumsy or random as straight to Netflix originals. Um, they let the dialogue come out more. They put out a little bit more lore, and then we get the 2008 Clone Wars movie, which a lot of people hated when it came out. Not everyone
Mhm.
liked Ahsoka. People didn't really like Ahsoka till like there was an episode of the Clone Wars where she was leading a Y-wing bombing squadron and she was Anakin's apprentice, so she
Mhm.
obviously thought she knew everything and she disobeyed orders because that's kind of what she learned from her master.
Mhm.
And but it wasn't until she understood loss and you saw her in a leadership position and get it questioned, and you're like, oh, this is a child soldier that George Lucas put in a tank top for some reason. But then all of that stuff happens between 2 and 3, and then you get to 3, and you're like, why is any of the Clone Wars talked about at all? Like, fuck Ahsoka, right? It's because all of it's made up. Star Wars, you
Yeah.
have to look at it as it was one great independent movie that soared and they just kept putting shit into afterwards. And
Mhm.
that's why I love that 2D show because it was like perfect everything you wanted in a cartoon, you know?
It was so I wanted to see the Clone Wars. I wanted to see this throwaway line that Obi-Wan like talked about in the original Star Wars. I wanted to see a war. I wanted to see like big action. And who do they bring in? They bring in the guy who did Samurai Jack. And every fucking fight scene in that show is amazing. Kit Fisto underwater, Mace Windu without his lightsaber, Obi-Wan versus the Akira dude. Dude, like
Oh,
the just Dirge.
Dirge. That was
Dirge.
a weird guy, a real gummy guy.
Weird gummy guy and fucking Grievous.
Revis. That was when they didn't know shit. It's interesting because I'm reading the Revenge of the Sith book, and they gave the author of the book like 120 pages of the movie, but like not a lot of dialogue and just like plot points. And he was like, all right, I guess I'll write it based on this. And the same thing kind of went along the lines for the Grievous stuff. And like you could see the exact moment when they were like, we made him too powerful. We have to fix this. And it's when you have Mace Windu crush his lungs, and that's why he's
Right.
like all asthmatic.
And that makes sense because it's such a cool scene when he takes Palpatine and like this this was a point I actually brought up to the this or that guys. I think that actually gave you a lot of great understanding of Shakti and just like her failure in that moment, both to save Palpatine and the deaths of the two Jedi that were with her guarding him. But it was just like, and you see, there's something very visceral about when Windu crushes Grievous there, and it also makes sense why Grievous sucks in Revenge of the Sith. He sucks.
Yeah, yeah, because you see him be the feared Jedi killer, and then when he has to
Mhm.
go up against two of the greatest Jedi, being Anakin and Obi-Wan, he really doesn't. There was a great line in the book where he's like, "You fool! I was trained in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku." Obi-Wan goes, "That's
Mhm.
good. I trained the Jedi who killed him." And I was like, "Oh, that was so great. Why did they take that out?" And
The
like
King
that's
of
what the
Sass.
Clone Wars show was. the king of sass. I'm the king of sass, Anakin, and you're the king of ass. Oh, look at Ventress, make it clap. It was a time before they kept bringing back Darth Maul, you know,
Mm-hmm.
who I love, and I'm really excited for this Shadow Realm Sith Lord show. That'll be cool because like there's like what, even though Darth Maul's dead, we've pretty much seen his beginning to end. That'll be one last thing I want to like see where he is to lead him up to where he is in Solo and like see
Right.
the disillusionment of Maul. And I also the Clone Wars show makes me wish there was a General Grievous backstory. And I love Count Dooku.
Dude, Dooku's amazing in that. The scene when Dooku is training Grievous and what's like every piece of
Use the
advice.
unorthodox attacks.
Exactly. And then he starts using his feet. Like everything Dooku says to Grievous to do, Grievous then does. You see why he is the ultimate Jedi killer, because he can just take this knowledge from Dooku and he's like AI. He can just implement it.
Yeah, he's like some kind of the biggest backstory we got on Grievous came from this book called Star Wars Visions, and he is a Kaleesh warrior. That's
Mhm.
his species. And Dooku was like scouting him out because they needed somebody to command the droid army. Dooku was like doing the politics of everything, but they needed someone to. Him and Palpatine had worked it out to be like, okay, and this all comes to a head when we have to jump on our actual plan. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to be arrested by Anakin Skywalker. We're going to pin all the war crimes on Grievous, and you Dooku will be allowed a place in the new empire. And that's what
Mhm.
Dooku always thought was going to happen. So they shot Grievous down. They blamed it on the Jedi, and then they did a blood transfusion with the Jedi mentioned in Attack of the Clones, who was Dooku's friend, who they said was the Jedi that placed the clone army order, Cypher Diaz. So Grievous's
Right.
blood has like Jedi blood in him, and he
Oh,
had a
shit.
Jedi lightsaber. As far as I remember, but this was like that was the most backstory we got. And then, of course, when Disney bought everything, the one good thing about that is like they have an opportunity to press reset and go, here's the definitive cool thing in the form of like a Disney Plus show if they ever give it the right budget. But even that,
Mhm.
like the Disney Plus stuff, one of the witch actresses who played a witch on the Ahsoka show said she's not coming back for the new season because Disney couldn't afford to pay her what she needed to leave LA to go shoot in London for a while. And I'm like, man, is everything just sucking now? Why does it have to happen when I'm an adult with a credit card and I can spend money on bullshit?
I know, right? I mean, yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean that's just like where we're going. I mean, I worry about going back to like we were talking about the Batman before. I mean, I hope Warner Brothers doesn't fuck us over on the Batman 2 now. Like I like
No,
it's going to be great. Matt Reeves is awesome.
we need two more of those movies, man. That's all I'm asking for.
Just two
Just give
more.
me two
That's all
more
I asked
movies,
for. Dude, I love
please.
Robert Pattinson so much, and I love the reason that Matt Reeves cast him is because he saw him in Good Time by the Safdie brothers, like which is one of my favorite movies of the 2010s.
That is, I remember you telling me about that movie, and I watched that to get into. You told me about that movie when he got cast as Batman because that was
Hmm.
when we were still at Broadway. I mean, we still are at Broadway, but that's when the first thing I'd say to Brent for years was, "Are you Annette Bening?" And then he was like, "Did you hear about Robert Pattinson as Batman?" I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I only know Miss Twilight," and you were like, "Oh, you got to watch Good Time," and I was blown away by it, and I think
Someday I got
like
to introduce you to my buddy Ben Beatty. He lives in New York, but he's Annette Bening's son. So.
yeah, I can't. That's so crazy. But it's the Sopranos reference in case anyone's
Yeah.
watching. Which, by the way, I just did my yearly rewatch of. I
Of
love that
Sopranos?
fucking show.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah,
I
it's my
I
favorite.
this is my hot take, but my take is of the four kind of like masterpiece TV shows like Mad Men, The Wire, Breaking Bad, and The Sopranos. I think Sopranos is the best ending.
It's I agree with you.
It's the smartest.
Because the ending doesn't feel like a finale. Like when you're watching it, every episode of Sopranos is kind of a standalone episode if you think about
Hmm.
it. Like it's a serial, but it's one that you don't ever start and stop watching Sopranos. Like most people just start anywhere and then they'll watch it through the end because it's just that good. You may have your favorite episodes, favorite characters, favorite scenes, but like it's just that good. You watch it through
Yeah.
to the end. And I was telling Slater last night we were watching is I have my theories about what happens to Tony at the end, which is so the opposite of what they're
Mhm.
trying to do to you. But
Right.
here are my theories. One, it was Eugene's wife because that's the jacket he was wearing in the members only episode.
Oh, she
And
put the hit in.
she had the money to put the hit out on Tony
I like that. I never even thought about that theory.
because that's the guy wearing the jacket at the end is also wearing the jacket Gene wore when Vito was like members only. How long have you been wearing that?
Full disclosure to our audience, Troy is friends with Robert Finaro, who plays Eugene.
I will say I have, and I've never once discussed Sopranos with him because I just wouldn't ever stop. It was either that Paulie okayed the hit on Tony because he was just tired of his shit, or somebody convinced me this weekend that perhaps it was little Carmine who let all of the events of season 6 play out and was fucking with Tony, and then let him get killed so he could finally cement his position as boss.
I love the Little Carmine theory because I always thought like someone made like a D&D reference to describe Little Carmine. He's what happens when you like max out wisdom and have no points dedicated to intelligence. Like he's so stupid, but also brilliant at the same time.
We're on the precipice of an enormous crossroads. A movie, like a child, has many parents.
Have I told you about the story of Versailles?
Oh, your brother Billy, whatever happened there.
But I buy into the Paulie theory. I think I've always thought Paulie did it, but I thought Paulie did it with Butchie. Like I feel like we see we see what was called out to me recently was that like Butchie was like really kind of like the he was kind of like the Iago to what's his face, to Leotardo. Like Phil kind of would want to let things go, and if you watch closely, Butchie's the one whispering in his ears. He's like, "Hey, you got to do something about it." Like Tony's like bad news, so it's not surprising that Butchie wouldn't keep his word, would send someone after Tony. And Paulie's kind of thinking to himself, like Paulie's in the scene with Butchie. He's probably thinking like, "Hey, why would I take over the April crew when I can just take over the whole thing? Like who? No one's standing in his way. He'd probably make Patsy the consigliere. The only other guy with like any status would be Albert Barisi. Like he's not going to take over. He's not going to take over.
He's not going to take over. Silvio doesn't come back from that shooting. I'm sorry, people hate when you say that. He ain't coming back.
Still died. No, still died.
He died. Yeah.
He's brain dead.
Yeah, and it also is important to point out that whatever your theory of what happened at the end, two intangible things. One, there's like a 10-second delay between the blackout and the credits. So yes, Tony dies. But also David Chase is trying to tell you in that scene, Tony's always going to be looking over his shoulder no matter what happens. The indictment's coming. There's a mob war going on. He's always
regardless. Carla was convicted. You nailed it, Troy. This is the first time we are seeing the world through Tony's eyes, and it sucks. It sucks so much. As you said, he's always looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, you put it a great way too. It sucks because like you watch the show, and every show you get a little impressionable. When I watched Mad Men, I worked on the 80th floor of the Empire State Building, so like I would put on a shirt and tie, and I would go drink on my breaks, and I would smoke cigarettes, and I was like, I'm Don Draper. When I watched Sopranos, you're like, I want to walk around in slippers and a robe and eat pasta and be fat until you watch that last scene. And it does. The only other mob thing I can think of that accurately, or I guess the first mob thing that accurately portrayed that life was the end of Goodfellas. And that's because Scorsese's a responsible filmmaker. He did the same thing with The Irishman. I love The Irishman. Hard time watching the last 40 minutes, man. It's hard to watch.
Starring Tracy Morgan.
It's hard to watch that. He got to buy his own casket.
But what was the name of Tracy's movie in 30 Rock?
It's called The Tracy Morgan Man. What's never hard to watch is this pod, because I can start telling people that the state of movies is over and end it with a hopeful sign that we'll keep everything alive just as long as we reboot it with Tracy Morgan.
Absolutely. I have 2 comic book things I want to cover off on before we sign off.
Sound that good? Shit. Tell me.
Let's do it. First off, obviously, yes, we read the comments. We know most of you in the comments disagreed with our take on Absolute Wonder Woman, but guess what? It's an opinion. We're giving our opinion, and I believe you guys that it gets better. I do. But those first 6 issues, my opinion, Troy's opinion, were bad. Did not enjoy them. But to ensure that I'm not being hard on Diana, someone in the comments recommended Wonder Woman Earth One by Grant Morrison to read as like a really good Wonder Woman story. And for Troy, the Earth One initiative, which I didn't know about, Sal from Comic Pop told me about this a few months ago. it was this initiative where they were basically around 2016 retelling the origin stories of all the major superheroes, but they were doing it in graphic novel format. So instead of restarting the entire series, it would be like 110, 120 page graphic novel, like just diving into these origins. So Sal recommended Green Lantern Earth 1, but someone in the comments recommended Wonder Woman Earth 1. I'm halfway through. It's fucking amazing. It's so good. I'm
I
like,
love Grant
that's
Morrison. I'm so happy to hear that.
that's the Wonder Woman story I want. It's no surprise Wonder Woman, like Grant Morrison, is crushing it doing Wonder Woman. He's a brilliant writer. He's super avant-garde. I think he's gender non-binary. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say.
They are. Hey,
right,
hey, listen,
yeah, we
everyone
know what
knows
I'm
in
talking about.
politics. He's a you. He's a. They are. You're
Grant
a
Morrison is
European
awesome.
person, right?
But yes, this is so good. I'm sure we'll do Green Lantern and Wonder Woman Earth 1 at some point in the future. But yeah, loving that. And then just like
I'm gonna have to check that series out. Earth 1, huh? That sounds
Earth
pretty.
1.
That sounds great.
Quick read. It's graphic novel, so it's not like an ongoing series. Troy, I think you would love this.
I am gonna. There was a series I wanted to plug to you too, because I've been hosting again. I don't know if I told you.
But you're hosting like hosting.
Yeah, Andy asked me a couple of weeks ago. He was like, "You want to do the Manhattan Comedy School show?" And you know me, I got a love of the game. I love
Right, of
going up,
course.
and I was like, nothing could be more of a bigger walk in the park for me than that. So I started going up, and I started hosting the new
Dude, that
talent
must be so
shows.
cool for these new comics, though, to see you as like the host there.
It's been fun. I love it.
That's
To
awesome.
me, it's the same as any other job. And I was like, I love doing this. And I also wanted to make sure I kept my toes. I wanted to stay on my toes because I'm going back on the road in January. But I got to see a
Right.
lot of my old friends. I got to see a lot of people who are like, "It's so cool that you're hosting." I'm like, "Me? Who the fuck am I?" But it's been nice.
Have you seen has Seinfeld popped in at all?
I've not seen him, but I saw Gaffigan last week, and he crushed with crowd work for like 10 minutes. I've never seen him throw his set away and
Unbelievable.
just do crowd work. He was amazing. I was dying.
Incredible. Oh my god, I would
He's
love to see
incredible.
Gaffigan live.
Oh yeah, dude. Next time I do Gotham, I'll find out if he's gonna be there, and I'll have you come down and watch the show with me and
Hell
see
yeah.
your old classmate Andy. The book I wanted to recommend to you is Bring on the Bad Guy, Dr. Doom. This is what I've been reading during the new talent shows. It's a Marvel, and it's really cool. It's a
Cool.
Marvel book. Just a great Doom book for the Doom lovers out there. Now that we know that Robert Downey Jr. is definitively playing Victor Von Doom and not a Tony Stark variant, so it's looking like Doomsday might be good, and I don't know what we're gonna do if that happens. But it's always nice knowing we're also reading for fun and not just for work.
Yes, exactly.
What
That's
was the other
awesome.
thing you wanted to say too?
First off, send me that link after this because I want to read that
Gotcha.
after I'm done with Wonder Woman Earth 1. The other thing I was thinking of, don't want to put you on the spot, but I was thinking of something. I'm curious your perspective too because I just reading Hickman's Spider-Man, I love that, and I've Spider-Man being my favorite character. I was like, oh, I think I could probably do this list. I think I came up with my top 5 Spider-Man writers, so I'm gonna run them by you, and I'm curious your perspective on them.
Oh, I can't wait. Give it
And I'll
to me.
start from 5, and I'm gonna go to 1. And you know me so well, you know who 1's gonna be, but we'll get there.
All right. Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it.
So number 5, this one is Tom DeFalco, and this is for me because I got into Spider-Man because of the 1980s run on Amazing. I love Spider-Man in the black suit. I love his relationship with Black Cat, what they do with Hobgoblin. Tom DeFalco knows Spider-Man so well. While he didn't create the symbiote, he's the one that made that version of the character so cool. He's just a brilliant person who knows so much about Spider-Man. Remember that book I have that just dives deep into the history of Spider-Man? He wrote that book. So
Yeah.
number 5,
Yeah,
Tom
it's
DeFalco.
great. I love the I have the omnibus with him and Venom. It's just a Spider-Man versus Venom omnibus, and just that I'm with you. That style, that artwork, that time of Spider-Man that was right before the Clone Saga, if I'm not
Uh-huh.
mistaken. So it was right before everything kind of went all crazy,
It
and
was back when it
it's
was
so
good.
great.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So Falco's Tom DeFalco number 5, number 4, Chip Zdarsky, Spider-Man Life Story. Dude
Yeah,
gets it. The dude gets it.
he that's the best love letter to Spider-Man of all time,
Mm-hmm.
man.
And to take Spider-Man's a character with such a rich history and condense it into a 6-issue graphic novel series, and it's so good throughout, and it just flows so seamlessly. Like every choice that he made, like the way he was able to bring in the Clone Saga and make it cool, how Ben Reilly is like a really fleshed out character, how he combines Kraven and Venom, the Doc Ock stuff
Not
is
a
like
beat was missed.
not a beat was missed. Everything they did with Norman, so freaking good. So yes, number 4,
Amazing.
Chip Zdarsky.
You're not
Number
missing.
3,
I'm loving this list.
thank you, Sarah. Number 3, Stanley. The guy. We give Stan a lot of crap for taking credit from Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, and Stan deserves the crap he gets. But Spider-Man's his guy. He came up with that story. Yeah. There was no Spider-Man without Stanley. That the way Ben Grimm was always supposed to be Jack Kirby, Peter Parker was always supposed to be Stanley. So I got to give credit where credit is due.
And I want to point out that for me, the metric of a great comic book character is someone who has a little bit of each writer that's ever worked on them go with him along the way, like whether it be a character choice or what have you, like and who has contributed more to Spider-Man of who that person is as a character, whether it be through being his spokesman, being his biggest cheerleader, than Stan Lee.
Yes, you put it
and
perfectly.
Probably he understands the character more than he understands any other Marvel character.
Yeah, this was him. I don't think there's a character he feels more attached to. I mean, he was crushed when he didn't get to play J. Jonah Jameson in the movies. He's since admitted J.K. Simmons was perfect casting, and he did get to voice him in Spider-Verse. But yeah, number 2. This was a tough one, but I got to go with J.M. DeMitis.
Kraven, man, that alone.
When you write the greatest Spider-Man story ever made, you have to be at least in the top 2.
I'm so glad you put it up there because I think that's both of our favorite book, or at least it was when we started doing this podcast. And no notes.
Whenever someone asks me like a story to start with, like if they're a comic book fan, like I say start with All-Star Superman. I tell them don't start with Watchmen. Like Watchmen is great.
Yeah.
Don't start with it. Build to Watchmen. But I say I give them 3 books, and it's the 3 books we started this podcast with: All-Star Superman, Batman: The Long Halloween, and Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no notes. My man knows ball.
Number 1. It should not be a surprise who number 1 on this list is. I've said before, this is my favorite comic book series of all time. He wrote Spider-Man, I think, longer than anyone. He was brilliant in his teamwork with Mark Bagley. Guys, it's Brian Michael Bendis, the greatest Spider-Man writer of all time. Ultimate Spider-Man.
The most influential, second only to, I would say, modern Spider-Man, Dan Slott. Like those two are very everything we know of Spider-Man now is like because of Dan Slott's contributions, and I think
he's my number 6. He's my number 6 on the list.
I know. Yeah. He's up there for me only many reasons, but his books got me back into reading books. And then, but I mean, your list I wouldn't move around, and I think was fascinating. And also correct. Like I defer to you with all opinions, Webhead, and that was a perfect list. I knew you were gonna say him as one. I knew it.
I knew you knew I was going to say Ben. Well, not only did he get Peter Parker, like truly loved Peter Parker and had the best Peter Parker story, how does he cap it off? He kills Peter Parker and introduces Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Dude has cojones.
Again, that alone is like everything in Spider-Man the last 15 years. So that's why I say he has contributed the most. I want to side note a tangent thing for you. I watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 nights ago. Amazing.
TASM?
Loved it.
TASM?
Such a good movie. TASM.
Love TASM.
TASM's great. It's such a good movie. TASM 2, I tried for the 9th time to watch all the way through. This time I couldn't get past the first 20 minutes.
TASM 2 is so bad. TASM 2 is a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. And I am itching for when we get to go on the Escape Pod podcast because Andrew is a TASM 2 apologist. And it is I get that it's kind of a controversial take that I love Far From Home as much as I do. is an objectively better movie than TASM 2.
It is. You know what?
TASM 2 sucks.
And we always come closer to each other's opinions on Far From Home, but like I will say that movie is infinitely better than everything in TASM. Like there's one good thing about TASM, and it's the suit and the special effects. The web stuff is really cool, but like everything about that movie is horrible. And like you don't even have to watch that movie to watch No Way Home, because Jamie Foxx is playing a completely different character.
Completely different. It doesn't. Who is this guy? Just watch TASM 1. TASM 1 is fantastic. Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man. The scene where the mugger takes out the knife and he's like, no, my one weakness, it's small knives.
Small knives.
Oh, but Dennis Leary is great in that movie as George Stacy.
Don't fuck my daughter.
I'm going to steal some jokes from Bill Hicks.
And whatever you do, don't fuck my daughter. So that I'm glad we both had Spider-Man on the brain, and I'm looking forward. You know what I need from the True Believers? I need some, because we've done a lot of DC the last few months. I would love some great Marvel book recommendations from the True Believers in the comments before I get off on this episode, because I got back into them reading the Doom book during the New Talent shows, and I was like, that's also when I read the majority of Ultimate Spider-Man years ago, and I was like, man, I love reading Marvel books. So any True Believers in the comments, whether it's we read a current one, the Hickman Spider-Man, but if there's any new current books that are out with Marvel that you want to recommend, or old classics, Brett and I love them. We got to do Moon Knight at some point. A lot of people have been asking us about Moon Knight, but all things Marvel, please give me recommendations in the book, because I'm a little Marvel dry. I'm going to go to Forbidden Planet tomorrow and check out some stuff they got over there, because you walk into a comic book shop, you walk out with an arm full of paperbacks, and you're like, I don't know why I did this.
Do you know what also would be great? Give us some X-Men recos. I mean, like, we love the X-Men. I mean, we just give us a reco that isn't Dark Phoenix.
Oh my God. Not just because, I mean, the fact that we read Dark Phoenix October 7th is like the 10th worst thing about it.
We've done like 63 episodes of this show. We've only done we did X-97. Yeah, Logan. Old Man Logan, and Deadpool and Wolverine. So we've only done like 3 X-Men episodes, but only one real one, which was X-97. We love the X-Men.
X-Men lovers are deep and wide. I think once we put this call out, they're all gonna, come to me, my X-Men readers.
Right. Like, we love your recos. I'm telling you, Wonder Woman Earth 1, so freaking good. We would never know who Tom King was if not for you guys. You're the ones who told us about Mr. Miracle and Human Target.
Brian stays up at night pressing the refresh button on our comments, so he's reading them. Don't you worry.
It's like the end of The Social Network. They're just playing the Beatles in the background, just like waiting for like a new comment on our YouTube page.
Which reminds me, we should drop the secret. Just make it secret. Our identity.
His greatest contribution to the company.
So give us some recs in the comments. Next week we're going to be diving into Absolute Superman, then everyone's rec, Absolute Batman. I'm actually going to try to read further than we did, because I think 6 more issues are out. I'm going to try to get the Bane ones.
I was thinking of that too. I was almost thinking, because, so full disclosure, we did record an episode first 6 issues, but Troy like edited this incredible episode. I did surgery on it
3 times.
He crushed it, and then a server at our comedy club literally knocked his computer over and broke it. So we will be recording it again. I was thinking maybe we just kind of like recap the first 6 issues and then like do the deep dive into like the Bane stuff, because I'm reading the Bane stuff now. I mean, the first 6 issues are good. The Bane stuff is incredible.
I'm reading the Bane stuff too, and I'm on board with that. Let's do it that way. I love it. And also really loved Absolute Superman, and I'm excited to talk about that.
Absolute Superman was awesome. I am loving these Absolute books, especially Absolute Wonder Woman, which was also a book that we read.
It was definitely
Thank you.
Read. And check us out next week, where we will be reading Absolute Superman and reviewing, and we will only universally like it, because that's how opinions go. But until then, I'm absolutely Troy Bond.
I'm absolutely Brent Birnbaum.
And we are thankful for all of you. Now let me hit record.